Right now, finding our roots, building ourselves up from the rubble, building that foundation that weathers all the storms of life. That's why we're here, guys. Pissed off for excellence. What's up, guys? Coming to you outside of Vegas with the Green Valley Ranch. Got the strip in the background here for some work. Had this afternoon off, so I figured I'd get to a question for you. Great video blog here poolside. This comes from Niall in Dublin, Ireland, and it's basically about calories. How many calories do you need to eat based on your body weight and everything if you want to put on weight, but good weight, guys. We're not looking for bad weight, we're looking for lean mass. We're not looking for those guys that are like, you know, 300 pounds with a lot of body fat. If you're 150 and you want to put on like 30 pounds of muscle, how do we do it without putting on 40, 50, 60 pounds of fat in conjunction with that 30 pounds of muscle? I'm going to teach you how to do this. I'm also going to go through a lot of myths in the bodybuilding world on how to put on proper weight. There's a lot of bullshit out there. We're going to display all the rumors and everything else, give you the real truth. You follow what I'm talking about here, guaranteed success. Guaranteed success. Get a pen and paper out. There's a lot of calculations. This is not what I'm talking about. It's not going to be a generalization. It's going to be specific to you if you plug in your numbers that I give you. So we're going to go through exactly how many calories you need to gain weight and to lose weight based on your metabolic rate and your age. We're also going to go into how much water you need to take. We want another calculation on your body. We're going to talk about how often you should eat, how many meals you should eat, what you should eat, and then we're going to display some of the myths that are out there. First, let's get to this question here. It comes from, again, Niall. I hope I'm saying your name right, man. It's N-I-A-L-L. He's in Dublin, Ireland. He goes, hey, Greg, I'm an absolute huge fan of yours. I stumbled across your site a couple months ago, and your videos and enthusiasm towards being healthy and fit have encouraged me to start training in the gym. My question is, how many calories do I need a day to build muscle? I'm 5'8", and I have no idea how many calories I should be consuming because some people, here we go, some people say you need to overeat to grow, but others say you will only become fat that way by eating too many calories and all you need is protein. I'm 18 years old, dying to know how many calories to consume in order to grow. If you get to read this message, I will be absolutely blown away. From Niall in Dublin, Ireland. Great question, man. I get this a lot, man. And so let's really get into this. It might be a little bit long of a blog. Before we get into this, I need you guys to back research 3 blogs from me. One on the fats, the skinny on fats, protein 411, and then carbohydrate confusion. Those 3 things are going to tell you what the right carbs, the right proteins, the right fats you want to consume. Because in the calorie war, they're all the same, meaning 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, whether it's a good monounsaturated, polyunsaturated fat, or if it's a bad saturated fat. It still counts, whether it's good or bad, for 9 calories. With carbohydrates, whether it's complex or if it's a simple carb, that's 4 calories. And your protein every gram is 4 calories also. So it's a 449 protein carb fat ratio from grams to calories. Doesn't matter if they're good or bad. It's the calorie war, they're all the same. Like when you get on the scale, it doesn't matter if you know how much lean mass you have or body fat, it's going to count all as one. So you need to distinguish that because what we're talking about here on the calorie intake, when we get through this mathematical equations, it's lean quality calories we need to talk about. Those lean quality calories are, you know, go into those videos and look at them, but real simple, it's lean red meats, your poultry, your fish, your chicken, your tuna fish, your avocados, your sweet potatoes, all your veggies, that kind of stuff, your almonds, peanuts, good stuff, you know, good stuff. Why is it good? Because it comes with a lot of nutritional content along with the fat, the healthy fat, or the complex carbohydrate, or that lean protein. Okay, before I get into this, I want to ask you guys a question. You guys answer this for me. When you are losing weight, you know, when you're on a strict diet to get leaned up and cut up, what do? We watch everything we eat. Everything's clean, everything's lean coming into our bodies, right? It's not, it is. But when we want to gain that weight, what do? we don't give a shit, do we? We don't watch anything. We just eat as much as we can. The misconception is, if you want to gain weight, just eat. Just eat, just eat, just eat. No, we met with bullshit, man. That's a wrong answer. Wrong answer today, wrong answer tomorrow. That's never right. And anyone telling you just to eat and everything else, it's really putting you down a one-way street with no return. Because you're going to put that fat on. Yeah, you put on size if you're just drinking vegetable oil and just, you know, eating 2 sticks of butter. But is that the size we want? Do we want to be like a chubby guy? You know, or do we want to be tight and firm, you know? Do you want someone's head to turn and look at us and be like, damn, man, I want some of that. You know, I want to look like that. Or do we just want to, like, be a ghost in the room and just float on by? I don't know if he came in. I didn't see him. Bullshit. Let's do it the right way, add the right weight. How do we do that? We need to find out how many calories we need every single day. There's an equation. What I need you guys to do, I need you guys to weigh yourself. I need you guys to get your body weight. When you get your body weight, let's just say 200 pounds for this example. You're going to multiply that by 11. That's going to give you one number. 200 times 11 is 2,200. 2,200 calories a day is what you need to maintain your weight without doing anything. But last I looked, we move every single day, don't we? Yes, we do. So when we're moving, what is that? Well, that's a maintenance, an activity calorie intake. We need to add to that number. How do we find that number? It's off your metabolic rate. Find out how many calories you burn on your activity level each day. Now, in the metabolic rate, there's 3 types of, you know, your metabolic rate is either slow metabolism, a moderate metabolism, or a fast metabolism. You guys have to pick which one you are. A slow one would be somebody that just looks at food and gains weight, right? And you know, he can eat a salad and gain weight. A moderate one is whether he eats a lot. If he eats a lot, he gains some weight. If he doesn't eat, he loses weight. So what he eats to his weight are pretty much directly correlated. Where he eats a lot, he gains. If he doesn't eat, he loses, kind of thing. A fast metabolism is somebody who eats everything, you know, but he just can't put on weight. Find out what metabolism is, right? Then compare it to your age. If you're in your 20s, your 30s, or your 40s. If you're in your 20s and you have a slow metabolism, right, there's a percentage number. That percentage number here, I've written down here, I took so many notes for you guys, is 30. So if you're in your 20s, a slow metabolism is 30%. A moderate metabolism, it goes up 10 to 40, a fast to 50. If you're in your 30s now, you know, the next age bracket, it drops by 5%. So your slow would be 25, your moderate 35, and your fast would be 45%. If you're in your 40s, another age bracket, a slow is going to drop another by 10, from 25 to 20 now. Your moderate in your 40s is going to be down to 30% metabolic rate, and your fast is going to be at 40% metabolic rate in your 40s at fast metabolism. You take that percentage and you multiply it by the number you just got, your body weight times 11. So 2,200 for a guy weighing 200 pounds, right? Times the metabolic rate. For me, let's say, for example, 45% is in that chart where I am. So 2,200 times 0.45, which is 45% of that number, is going to give you another number. That number, for me, I wrote down here, is 990. That is your activity calories, your metabolic rate calories, the moving around calories. You add the moving around with what you need just to maintain not moving around. That is your calories you need every single day. So 2,200 plus 990 is 3,190 for me. That's how many calories I need to maintain the weight I am at the activity level and the age I am, right? So that's our golden number, guys. Again, you have to know where you are if you want to know where you want to go. If you don't know where you currently are, how the hell are you going to get there? And now we know where we are, do we not? We know that number. Now that number is going to change. If we want to gain weight, like Niall's saying here, if we want to gain weight, 500 is a special number. So we're going to add 500 calories on top of that daily calorie intake. If you want to gain lean mass, 500 is a number I think is best because it's just enough excess that your body has excess calories, but not too much of an excess where your body's going to start storing those calories as fat storage and start building that gut. Or just build your lean muscle mass as long as you're active in the gym and working out hard. If you want to lose weight, on the other side here, we'll drop that number by 500, lowering our caloric intake for 3,190 now down to 2,690 for me. Or if I want to gain the weight, 3,690. Okay. If I want to maintain it, 3,190. That's where it is. Now we know our calories, right? How many we need to take if you want to gain or if you want to lose. Now it's a marathon, not a sprint, guys. You're not going to. You can't say, oh, if I just add 1,000 calories, I'll gain weight faster. You can gain the wrong weight faster. You want to gain lean weight. You want to say it's a marathon. Gaining 2 pounds of muscle a month is amazing. It's really good. Depending how hard you guys go, you might be able to bump that up. Now, if you guys are all right, so we have our calorie number, right? You guys understand the math of that. It's important now to talk about how many meals we're eating a day. The meal count we're eating is anywhere from 5 to 6 meals a day. And you're not eating them based on when you're hungry. You're eating them on the clock, based on the clock. Every 2 to 3 hours, you're putting another meal into your body. Pretty hard to do. You're really eating when you're not hungry. You're forcing yourself to eat, forcing your body to put more nutrients, lean, high quality calories into your body to build, those are the building blocks for all the muscles and stuff we're going to build in our lifting program, which I'll get into. Hard to do though. You know, you have the proper plan. Proper plans the night before. You make meals, those 5 or 6 meals, to go with you in a cooler to work or to an activity or whatever you're doing. So when you want to eat the food, you have readily available good food to eat. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to be eating for convenience. I'm out of food. I need food now. What's convenient? Convenience is almost directly correlated to bad food. You know. Not high quality calories, you know, pretty empty calories. That's your fast foods, your supermarkets, your gas stations. We don't want that kind of stuff. We stop that process by planning it out. We're putting all this time into the gym, all this effort into learning how our bodies work and everything else. Put the extra little bit of effort in there and planning your meals out. You combine the right mental toughness of knowing how your body works with putting the right food in there on the inside, combine that with the right activities on the outside, you ignite them together, that's the gasoline, the fire, the spark, you bring them together, you will have that physique, that body you want. So we talked about how many calories we need, we talked about how often we are eating, right? The other thing I want to talk about real fast is your lifting programs. Okay, your lifting program is going to totally change here. We're going to try to put on size, you know? So our cardio is going to be next to nothing. We're not going to do any cardio. Why? Because that's burning more calories. If you guys are doing cardio, you're not doing it to burn fat. You know, we're not trying to lose fat here. We're trying to put on lean muscle mass. So if you're doing cardio, you're doing it for aerobic conditioning to build your lung capacity up. I understand if you guys want to do that. If you want to do that, calculate how many calories that is. If that's an hour on a treadmill and that's 400 calories, well, that magic number 500 added calories to your daily calorie intake is now 400 more, being 900. You have to calculate that in there if you're going to do the cardio sessions too. If you're not really big into, building up your aerobic strength or your lung capacity, then maybe as this building phase goes, we hold off on that and we just stick to the lifting routine, which is going to change. You're going to be doing pyramid sets, pyramid up in weight, down in reps. 4 sets. We're going to do a first set of 10 reps, then 8, 6, 4, or 2, whatever you got. The weight's going to change. So first it's going to be an X factor, right? And it's going to be X plus 10, X plus 20, X plus 30. Adding weight, lowering the reps. Your time in between sets is going to elongate also. We're looking at like a 1.5 minute, 2-minute break, if not more. Making sure all the lactic acid is out of your body, all the CO2, so that when you fail, when you hit failure, and your partner assists you with 2 or 3 sets, reps, after your fail point, you're failing not because of the lactic acid and the lack of oxygen, you're failing because the fire base of the muscle has hit failure, okay? Once you finish those sets, do your drop sets to shred it up, or do negative sets. Drop sets where you drop the weight in half, and you do like higher reps for good form where you try to aid the muscles. The negative set is when you add the weight, you double the weight, and you, like a bench, your body holds it up, and then you lower it on a slow 5 count. It helps lift it back up, slow 5 count. Do all those things, shocking up the body to make it really adapt to the new situations and grow. It has all the nutrients, all that good food. It's dying to use that food to build and get all that nutrition. In order to do that, though, what do we need? We need to be hydrated, guys. Another big factor here. Make sure you're drinking a lot of water, because if you're dehydrated, it's like that river of life, that bloodstream, it flows a little slower almost. There's not as much water. So all those nutrients, all that good stuff, all that work you're doing to make sure you put the right stuff in your body at the right time isn't getting to the muscles when they need it as fast, If you're hydrated, it's flowing through your body. So your body's picking up all the minerals and vitamins and proteins and everything it needs, What you're putting in is what you're getting out. We're trying to be efficient every year. No more guesswork, guys. How much water do we need? Based on your weight again, guys. We'll do the example of 200 pounds. 200-pound guy, divide that number by 2. That's 100 pounds. But we're not talking pounds anymore, we're talking ounces. That's 100 ounces of water you need to drink a day. Divide the ounces by 8, will give you a glass. So for me, 200 pounds divided by 1 and divided by 2 is 100 ounces of water. Divided by 8, that's 12.5 glasses of water I need a day to stay hydrated at my current body weight, age, metabolic rate of what I'm doing. Understand? So we know how many calories, we know how much water, we know how many meals we need a day, right? We know how often we eat. We know our lifting routine, and we know about cardio. If we are going to do it, we're going to add those calories into our number. If we're not going to do it, better off. This is also something you have to do weekly, guys. You have to stay up on this, because what's going to happen is you're going to grow in size. You know, when you grow in size, your weight's going to change, so your calorie intake is going to change. Every week, you guys do goal weeks. Every week's a goal, you know? Short-term goal, short-term. At the end of each week, you reevaluate. You take your body weight and you take your body fat percentage. And you calculate it. It says where you are, where you're going, if you need to adjust or anything else. You know the information. I'm giving you everything you guys need to know. I've already told you what the right proteins are, what the right carbs are, what the right fats are. There aren't any other foods out there. That's it. Everything is one of those three, right? And I told you what the good ones are. And I just told you how many good ones you need to make them out. I even told you how many percentage of fat, how much percentage of carbs you need, how much percentage of proteins you need in order to grow. If you want to do this as an athlete or a marathon runner, if you want to do a bodybuilder, if you want to do a fitness guy, now you have the number you need to match that up with. You know the percentage of carbs, percentage of fat, percentage of proteins, times either 4 or 9, depending if it's fat or carbs or proteins, equals a number, a calorie number. That number, you know what it has to be. So you know how much you need to more eat there. Now when you're eating, you can't eat the same thing over and over again. In those video blogs, I told you what the good things are. You want to find a good array of proteins, a good array of carbs, a good array of fats, okay? And then you want to pick a fat, pick a protein, pick a carb to make a meal. And you need 5 or 6 of them a day. You want them always changing. Just like we change our workouts up to keep our body guessing on the external outside to improve it, we need to do the same on the inside, the internal side, on the food, keeping our body guessing so it's not used to any food coming in. Everything's coming in is something new, so it has to digest it. It doesn't just pass go and collect $200 Monopoly style. It has to evaluate everything, and it keeps your metabolism high. Keeping the metabolism high and high quality calories is going to equal high lean mass gains with minimal fat, and that's what we're trying to do. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Fruit juices. You know, fruit juices are basically liquid calories, guys. You know, it's just sugar water. It's not going to put on any quality mass. So, you know, if you're really accustomed to drinking fruit juices and everything else, like some people have written in, make it a fruit smoothie. You know, put some substance behind that, you know? Make it more than just a liquid calorie, meaning throw in protein into that, throw in peanut butter, you know, throw in almonds and grind them up, you know, put that kind of stuff, put your omega-3s in there, you know, glutamine, put other elements in there so you get more than just the empty calories of the sugar water, which is all it is. It's not going to help you. Now, those guys that are taking all this weight gainer, let's get rid of this myth too. Weight gainer is bullshit, man. Will it put on size? Sure, it put on size, but it doesn't put on education, which is what I want you guys to do. If you're just using weight gainer, it's like someone gave you a fish dinner, right? I'm trying to teach you how to fish, so you're never relying on a third party's fish dinner dropping off. A third party being the supplements or these fucking steroids people use that transform your body without you knowing how it's transforming. So you get to the end state goal of where you are and where you want to be, and your looks and your weight and everything else, and you're like, cool, so you stop using it. What happens? You come dropping down because your calories are now different, and all of a sudden your weight's coming up and down, you don't know what's going on, and you're confused, and you're playing guesswork. Guesswork will always end up as loser. You want to eliminate the guesswork, guys. So this is a proven success method. It doesn't change. You know, your body changes, but you're always one step ahead because you're calculating every single week, and you're a step ahead, the best you can be. You know, you're changing your workout, you're changing your diet up, and you're evaluating every single week, and you know the numbers you need to be if you want to gain this weight. So get rid of those weight gainers and stuff. Learn it naturally. Are they good? If you want to use weight gainers, fine, but know the calories are coming in. Know how much of a supplement you're using there. So if you decide to stop using it, you know how much you need to replace that with real food, okay? The other thing, steroids, man, again, you're only as good as long as that you're using the juice, you know? As soon as the juice runs out, your body runs out. And on top of that, you have to learn the mind-body connection or that mental toughness, you know, that you learn in the subjective nature of the gym, that you can take out and go into other arenas of life, corporate America, marriage, social settings, to overcome the adversities and get to your goals, become the person you want to be. It doesn't happen when you shortcut shit in life. There are no fast solutions to long-term results. All that shit is a short-term fix for a short-term result. And it's not what we want to do here. Other myth, you're genetically small. Your genetics, you can never gain weight. Fuck me. That is the biggest load of bullshit. You know, a guy weighs 130 pounds, I know, in high school. He's 230 right now. He's bigger than I am. How's that possible? Well, he didn't go through a growth spurt, I'm telling you, at age 25. I don't think so. No, he got dedicated. He did his homework. He learned how the body worked. He learned what nutrition he needed to put in. He learned everything I'm telling you, he was doing. And he stuck to it like religious, man. I'm telling you, the transformation part is the hardest part. After that, once you get to where you're going, it's a lot easier to maintain. But that transformation is going to take all of your strength, your mind, your smartness, your intelligence, Just stick to the pattern and see it through. Don't look at tomorrow's results. Look at 6 months, 8 months from from now's results. Okay, guys. Yeah, so you can gain weight, but a lot of people that are small and stuff say, I just can't, I can't eat what a 250-pound bodybuilder eats. I'm only 180. Well, you just answered the question there, didn't you? Of course you can't. You're never going to be a 250-pound bodybuilder because you don't provide the building blocks of nutrition and food to become a 250-pound bodybuilder. If you want to be a 250-pound bodybuilder, you need to eat like a 250-pound bodybuilder. You can't eat like a 120-pound string beef. You got it? Just like if you want to become the champion, you got to believe you can be the champion. No one's going to give it to you. If you don't believe you can get there, you might as well not even start the process. Because you're going to hit failure. The first wall you hit, you're going to give up. Because you don't have the mental toughness to drive your physical body through the motherfucker and get there. So again, you got to believe you can gain the weight. You got to eat like that champion, that person at that weight. Initially, you're not going to be able to, though, your stomach's too small. So again, gradually, you want to start putting more food in there, stretching that out. You don't want to just eat so much and gorge yourself. You're about to puke, You want to slowly do it, so your body's naturally getting more and more used to the weight and the food coming in for those 5 to 6 small meals a day, every 2 to 3 hours. All right, guys, I'm gonna try to cut it short here because, or it's always long. But great question, Al. I'm totally motivated and psyched that you wrote that in. A lot of people have written that. I hope I answered your question. You guys got to find out the calorie number you need. Right? Find out the water number you need. Combine them. 5 or 6 meals every 2 to 3 hours. Eating good foods, not bad foods. You want to eat high density foods. If you're going to snack on something, man, snack on almonds, not the Snickers bar. We want to put on lean mass, not fat. This is Greg Plitt, help you stay fit, man. Signing out from Vegas. I gotta get back to work, so I'm kind of cutting this short. But great question, man. I love answering for you, and look forward to more of your questions, man. Keep kicking ass. We're out.